When I was a kid, my dad lived for Christmas lights. Every year he went all out, but 2010 was his masterpiece. He synced the lights to music. The whole yard turned into a glowing show, and people would stop just to watch. My dad loved the attention. That night, snow was drifting down, the kind that sparkles under streetlights. Even with the cold, a couple of people stopped to watch. First a woman, who left quickly, and then a man. He stood there longer than anyone else, smiling like the lights were the best thing he had ever seen. My dad thought it was great, at first. Eventually the snow got heavier, so Dad unplugged the show for the night. The yard went dark. Everyone went upstairs to get ready for bed. From my bedroom window, I peeked outside out of curiosity. And there he was. The man was still standing on the sidewalk, staring directly at our house. In the dark. I called my dad over. He watched for a moment, then sighed. Probably just wants the lights back on. Ignore him. He'll go away. But I couldn't shake the feeling. Later, when everyone went to bed, the house got quiet. Too quiet. The sound of snow tapping on my window usually made me sleepy, but not that night. I needed to check again. I lifted my blinds just a little. The man was gone, but I saw fresh footprints leading from the sidewalk straight onto our lawn. My stomach dropped. I crept downstairs to the front door. It had 3 little glass windows at the top. I rose up on my toes, peeked through, and I wished I hadn't. He was right there on the other side of the door, standing inches away, smiling up at me, this wide, unnatural smile that stretched across his face, deepening those crow's feet and wrinkles. He had a thick mustache, an old-fashioned wool cap, and eyes that looked way too excited to be staring into a stranger's home at midnight. I froze. Then I screamed and fell backwards. My whole family rushed out. I yanked the door open. He was already crossing the street, heading toward the park, moving fast. Without thinking, my dad, my brother, and I threw on our shoes and chased him. No coats, just adrenaline and freezing air stabbing at our skin. We followed his footprints into the park. But once the trees thickened, there wasn't enough snow to leave tracks. It was like he vanished into the dark. We stood there, shivering, surrounded by silent trees, knowing he could be anywhere, watching us. We gave up and ran home. We never saw him again. We never learned who he was, or why he stood at our door smiling like that. He didn't break in. He didn't say a word. But that somehow made it even worse. Because now, every winter, every time I hear snow tapping on the window, I wonder if he's out there again, smiling, waiting. It was Christmas Eve, just after my graveyard shift. The roads were empty, covered in snow and ice, and I was driving slow with Christmas music playing softly, trying to stay awake. On a quiet service road, I rolled up to a red light behind 2 cars. The light turned green, but neither of them moved. At first, I waited. 10 seconds, 20, 30. Nobody honked. Not even the guy in the car right in front of me. It was like time froze at that intersection. Finally, I gave a tiny tap on my horn. Nothing. The cars didn't even twitch. I glanced to the sidewalk and saw a man standing there just watching. No reaction, no expression, just staring like he was waiting for something. The light turned red again. That was it. I was exhausted, cold, irritated. I got out and walked up to the first car. The engine was running. The lights were on, but the driver's seat was completely empty. My stomach dropped. I checked the second car. Same thing, running, but no driver, no sign of anyone. I quickly looked back to the sidewalk. The man who had been standing there was gone. Now I was officially freaked out. I jumped back into my car and drove around them, completely done with whatever weird Christmas night nonsense that was. A few blocks later, I spotted a police cruiser in an empty parking lot. I honked and flashed my lights to get his attention. The officer pulled up behind me, walked to my window, and I explained everything. 2 empty running cars blocking the road, no drivers, someone watching me. He nodded, but then his eyes shifted past me toward my back seat. "Why is he lying on the floor like that?" the officer asked. My blood turned to ice. "What?" I whispered. I slowly turned around, and there he was, a hooded man, curled up on the floor of my back seat, completely still. I screamed and jumped out of the car. The officer drew his weapon and ordered the man out. When he stood up, I saw his face. It was the same man who had been watching from the sidewalk. He didn't say a single word as the officer handcuffed him and called for backup. Not one word. The cop told me to head home and wished me a Merry Christmas. But the whole drive back, I couldn't stop thinking about one thing. How long had that man been hiding in my car? My wife and I live in a quiet duplex in Queens, New York. Nothing fancy, but peaceful. At least, it used to be. Last month, 2 middle-aged women moved in next door. We barely saw them at first, always rushing in and out. On the 4th day, I finally caught one of them unloading a box. Her name was Frances. Polite, but rushed. Nothing strange, yet. Christmas Eve rolled around and we were hosting my family for dinner. Everything was normal until the entire table went silent. Someone was trying to push open our locked front door. Slow, steady pressure. I jumped up and swung the door open, but nobody was there. Just a woman walking down the sidewalk. I assumed she had the wrong house. Everyone did. Hours later, after my family left, my wife and I started cleaning. I was washing dishes when the front door suddenly opened and slammed shut. I called out for my wife. She answered from the other room. That's when my blood ran cold. I walked into the living room, and a woman was sitting in my recliner, staring at the wall, muttering to herself. It was one of the neighbors, the sister. My wife gasped behind me. I told the woman she was in the wrong house. She slowly turned her head toward me and kept whispering those broken, garbled words. Frances came rushing in after my wife knocked on their door. She grabbed her sister and apologized over and over. She explained that her sister had sundowning syndrome, a form of dementia that gets worse at night. When I asked if she ever got aggressive, Frances hesitated. "It's best to leave her alone when she starts acting up," she said. That answer didn't sit well with me. But Frances pulled her sister out, and we locked everything. Christmas Day went smoothly. We got home late, around 11, and went straight to bed after a movie. But deep in the night, something woke me. A faint sound. Movement. I opened my eyes to a dark room. Someone was walking out of our bedroom. "Honey, you okay?" I whispered. My wife's tired voice responded from beside me. I shot out of bed. Down the hallway stood a tall, thin silhouette, the sister, just staring, her back slightly hunched, her breathing uneven. I yelled, "Wrong house," and slammed our bedroom door shut. She rushed at it instantly, pushing, rattling, shoving, making these low, angry noises like frustration turned feral. I called the police with shaking hands, telling them our neighbor with dementia had broken into our home and might be violent. Waiting for them felt like hours. Finally, I heard knocking. When I cracked the door open, the police entered with Frances, who looked terrified. They found her sister wandering in our basement, confused and mumbling to herself. Frances kept apologizing, but this time I was firm. I told her this couldn't happen again. If it did, I would press charges. She understood. And not long after, her sister was moved out to live with their mother. That was the last time we ever saw her. But even now, some nights, when the house gets too quiet, I swear I still hear soft footsteps in the hallway, like someone who got used to wandering into the wrong home and maybe hasn't forgotten the way.